In our modern day society, digestive problems have really become a daily routine, and some of these are really very painful, inconveniencing, and embarrassing at the same time. So, noticing any of these and trying to take action on them could really revolutionize the way you digest food. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Akeem from Exploring Dreams. So in this video, we're really going to be looking at the worst digestion habits. And in number one, we have poor food combinations. So poor food combinations is one of the things that really people don't give an eye, but it's one of the very important things that you must put in consideration when you're eating and when you're having very bad digestion. So the first poor food combination is taking tea and food. So this is one of the things that people do a lot, but it's really not acceptable and it can lead to production of toxins inside the body. The next thing is really taking milk and salty food. So taking milk and salty food is one of the things that leads to a curdle inside the stomach, which is really very difficult to digest. Another thing is really having tea and popcorn. So having tea and popcorn, I've really seen a lot of people doing this, but you don't want to be falling into this trap. So if you've been doing any of these, stop. Another thing is taking milk and fruits. So milk and fruits are things that are not really compatible and have really slow down your digestion. In number two, we have poor food timing. So poor food timing is really experienced by people who are working or people who are in academics. So 90% of the time we really find ourselves replacing meals with work, but then what we don't realize in this perspective is that by replacing a meal with work, this really confuses your digestive system of when to produce which enzymes, and you find yourself producing enzymes in the time which you don't need them and then not producing them in the time which you need them, and this really leads to diseases like ulcers and very other complications like producing gas in the stomach, which are really very uncomfortable and painful. In number three, we have how we eat. So this is one I used to fall capries in high school, but I try to fix it. So the average time we're supposed to chew food is 32 times, and the more we chew it, the more it becomes smaller and the more it can pass through the esophagus to be digested. So we really find ourselves really chewing food very fast and swallowing it, but then what we don't realize is that we are providing a lot of work for the stomach, which it cannot do. So you'll find people becoming very lazy after a meal and people becoming very relaxed after a meal, and this is because the stomach is trying to put more energy to digesting food than putting a lot of energy to doing the work you're doing at the moment. In number four, we have something that 90% of the people do, and if you've never done this, let me know down in the comment section with proof and I'll give you a prize. So this one is taking water after having a meal, and 90% of the people really don't realize that taking water after a meal does have an effect, but when you take water after a meal, what it does is that it dampens the digestive fire, and by virtue of doing this really leads to slowing down the digestive system than rather boosting it up in order to become faster. Instead of taking water after a meal 10 minutes after, you can really take water instead 30 minutes after. And then something that is related to that is bathing after a meal. So when we take any kind of meal, our body really produces heat, and when it produces this heat, what happens is that the heat is there to accompany on the digestion. When we bathe, this really cools down the heat and makes digestion a little bit slower, which can lead to different complications like slowing down digestion, and you don't want to be falling into this pit. In number five, we have meal preparation for the future. So some people really prepare food to be consumed in the future, maybe a day after, a week after, but what they don't realize is that this food that is stored in the refrigerator to be taken after can seem to be very fresh, but then it's called stale. When absorbed into the body, can really produce toxins. So when these toxins are really taken into our digestive system and absorbed into the body, can result into conditions like urchins, constipation, and other weird digestive problems. So the fresher the food, or the fresher you take the food, the more it's nutritious. So we always want to be taking our food when it's still fresh. So some people might argue here, okay, I've been taking this food for a while and I have no problem. So that is really okay, because from 0 to 16 years, your digestion is really very strong, and from that time going upwards, your digestive system becomes slower and slower, and it can become a disaster when you take it at a later age. So I really agree with you on that, but you'll not move away with it in the near future. In number last, we have stress. So our state of mind is really connected with our digestive system, and having excessive anxiety can really loosen your stomach. So have you ever realized that after emptying your bowels in a very normal and very good state, you really feel very relaxed, and after emptying your bowels in a very uncomfortable way, you really feel very nugged and very nasty after it. And this is because the two systems are really correlated with one another. So academic competitions and excessive business competitions and overuse of social media could lead to stress, which can lead to poor digestion further down the line. So if you want to have some good kind of digestion, stop stressing yourself and start finding things that can really put off the stress, like meditation, like cooling down, like hanging out with friends, and doing things that really interest you. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate when you guys watch these videos. I really appreciate when any of these really improves you, and you comment down in the comment section. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.